Daisy Link, a 29-year-old woman from Florida, was incarcerated in the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center, charged with second-degree murder for the death of her husband. The incident had occurred on June 25, 2022, when Daisy allegedly shot her husband in the leg outside their Homestead, Florida home. In a video taken at the scene, Daisy is heard saying, "I think I hit a major artery, you'll be fine." However, despite her assurances, her husband later died from his injuries. While awaiting trial, Daisy became an inmate at TGK, where she would remain for more than 2 years. During her time in jail, she became pregnant. This revelation was revealed during a phone call with her family on Christmas Day 2023, when Daisy claimed that she became pregnant while incarcerated. She told her family that the father was a male inmate named Joe DePaz, who was also charged with murder. However, Daisy described a bizarre and unusual way that the pregnancy had occurred. Daisy explained that she and Joanne had never met in person. Instead, they communicated through the air conditioning vents in their separate cells. According to Daisy, they would knock on the vents to get each other's attention and would pass notes and pictures through the vents. Daisy said they formed a romantic bond despite the physical distance between them. Eventually, Joanne shared a dream with her. He wanted to have a baby, even though he knew it would be a long time before he could do so. Daisy agreed, and they began discussing how to make this happen. Joanne, who was 23 years old at the time, had a plan. He told Daisy about a method he had learned from another inmate that involved passing sperm through the vents. According to both Daisy and Joanne, this process involved rolling semen in saran wrap, which Joanne would do 5 times a day for about a month. The wrapped semen would then be attached to a line made from bedding material and passed through the vent into Daisy's cell. Daisy explained that it didn't take long before she became pregnant. She was ecstatic and described the pregnancy as a miracle because she had never physically met the father. In her words, "I've never met him."
It is. Everybody says it to me. This is like some Lifetime movie network.
Link is locked up awaiting trial, charged with second-degree murder. Police say this is Link holding a gun after shooting her boyfriend in the leg, killing him. She has been an inmate at TGK for more than 2 years, but in June, Link gave birth to this baby girl.
She's a miracle baby. She's a blessing.
A miracle because Link says she's never met the father of her baby face to face.
I've never met him. It's crazy.
He was also a TGK inmate and, like Link, is charged with murder. The DNA results show inmate number 200147865, Joanne DePaz, is the baby's father.
This call is from the Miami-Dade Metro West Detention Center.
So you guys have never physically touched each other?
Never. Like the Virgin Mary.
The big question here is, how did this happen?
Through the vent.
Link says she and DePaz started talking through AC vents in their cells.
You would knock on it and you can hear the people from the different floors. You would stand on the toilet actually to be able to talk to them.
They say they also passed notes and pictures.
Being in isolation for so long, you begin to spend hours and hours talking to this person, you know, to the point where it's almost as if you're in the same room with them.
Link and DePaz formed a romantic relationship, and the 23-year-old shared his dream.
I always really wanted to have a baby, and I'm not going to get to do that for a really long time. So if I had to choose somebody, you know, it would be you. And she was like, yeah, we could do that.
DePaz came up with a plan.
I'm not going to lie, it's going to go down in history.
I don't know what my fate is. You kind of don't know what yours. If we're going to go out, might as well just go out with a bang, you know? If it works, it works. But it definitely did.
I told her a way that one of my friends had showed me through the vent, because the vent is like an L shape, really. It drops right into my vent. From her room, she could throw a pen into the vent, and it'll land right into my vent.
We had figured out a way to drop the line. It was a line that we had established out of like bedding material.
I put the semen in a saran wrap every day, like 5 times a day for like a month straight.
He would kind of like roll it up almost like a cigarette and he would attach it to the line that we had in the vent, and I would pull it through. From there, I had placed it inside of it was you know, the yeast infection, the yeast infection applicators. I had placed it inside of there, and then from there, yeah, I administered it.
She says it only took a few tries before she became pregnant.
I was very excited. I was ecstatic about it.
It's crazy. Daisy confirmed that DNA results showed that Joanne DePaz was indeed the father of her baby. On June 19, 2024, Daisy gave birth to a baby girl at Jackson Memorial Hospital. 2 days after the birth, the baby was handed over to the mother of another inmate, though Daisy's family had no confirmation that this woman was actually the child's biological grandmother. Daisy's sister, Crystal Barreto, spoke to the media, expressing concern over the circumstances surrounding the birth. Crystal said, "We don't even know if that's the real family." She also criticized the ongoing investigation by the Miami-Dade Corrections and Rehabilitation Department, saying that the situation had been swept under the rug and that the department was dragging its feet in investigating the case. The pregnancy and birth had raised many questions, and the Miami-Dade Corrections Department launched an internal affairs investigation into how the event had occurred without officers noticing. Daisy's family was demanding an independent investigation, given the unusual circumstances. However, the department previously stated that there was no evidence of sexual assault, even though Daisy initially described the pregnancy as resulting from an assault. She later clarified that it had not been an assault, but rather a consensual act with Joanne, as strange as it seemed. Meanwhile, Joanne DePaz, who had been incarcerated at the Miami-Dade Metro West Detention Center, spoke about his role in the pregnancy. In a phone conversation, he jokingly referred to himself as a celebrity among inmates because of the highly unusual nature of his involvement. "This is gonna go down in history," he said. Daisy, who remained in TGK, echoed his sentiments, calling the entire situation crazy, but also feeling that it had all happened for a reason. As of October 2024, Daisy's baby is now 5 months old, living with Joanne's mother, who became a grandmother for the first time. Daisy and Joanne, now in separate jails, still communicate through phone calls and video visits with their daughter. Daisy described her child as a blessing and said, "She could be anything. I think that she's gonna be something great." Daisy Link's case remains under investigation, with the Miami-Dade Corrections and Rehabilitation Department looking into how this unusual pregnancy was able to happen without the knowledge of the correctional officers. The investigation continues as of late 2024, and questions remain unanswered about how such an event could have occurred in a secure facility.